Welcome to a little bit of yoga before bedtime. Most of this practice will be either like seated or pretty close towards the ground. We're going to be seated for a while at the beginning as well, so I've just grabbed myself a cushion. If you want to grab yourself something similar to sit on to find a bit more comfort, then please do, or you can absolutely do this seated on a chair. But I'm going to invite you to find whatever a comfortable seat is for you. So maybe it's cross-legged, maybe you have the legs out in front of you. And we're going to begin our practice here today. Please do, as always, listen to your body throughout the practice. Adapt or pause whenever you need to. Let's begin just by taking a few circles of the shoulders, rolling the shoulders up to the ears, a circle of them back, down, around, and then repeating that a few times here. When you feel ready to come to a little bit of stillness, let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Let the hands land down somewhere comfortable. Maybe it's on your knees, maybe it's in your lap, or rested on your torso. You could close your eyes down here, or just let the eye focus soften slightly. Maybe there's a point out in front of you to gently focus towards. And as we think about moving towards kind of bedtime, perhaps we're looking for something that feels fairly grounded and slow, or a sense that we can sort of unwind ourselves towards sleep or towards rest. And we might begin that here by really noticing how you are in this moment, noticing the flow of your breath or the sensations in your body. Maybe the sense of anything that is moving here. And sometimes when you notice or when you tune in, you can really notice those small nuances of practice. The chest moving, the air rushing in through the nose or mouth. And then what I'm going to invite us to do here is to focus particularly on the breath, a practice of slowing the exhale down here. So we'll take an inhale, and then we're going to try and take this kind of longer, slow breath out. And we'll take 3 through the mouth, those exhales, and then 3 through the nose. But to help with that, see if you can bring your hands to the torso. And I like to take one hand a little higher, one hand a little lower. And again, just noticing your breath as it is right now. And if today you need to stay here and just breathe, then know that that is really welcome. Otherwise, I'm going to guide us through those slower exhales. So let's see if we can breathe in here through the nose together. And a nice long breath out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. And a long breath out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. Long breath out through the mouth. Switching to our exhales through the nose. Breathing in through the nose. Long, slow breath out through the nose as well. Breathing in through the nose. Long, slow breath out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose. long, slow breath out through the nose. So if you can let that same rhythm or pattern of breath continue here, but maybe finding your own pace with it. Still nice and slow on the exhale. I'm going to bring in a small set of words or an aphorism. You could think of this as a mantra if you'd like to. And those words for us today are: I invite a slowness and rest. I'm going to repeat them 3 times in a moment, and you're really welcome to repeat them at home, whether that's out loud or whether that's in your mind. I invite slowness and rest. I invite slowness and rest. I invite slowness and rest. Allowing yourself to anchor towards those words, and we'll bring them in a few times throughout practice today. So if you can find some wriggles just of the fingers and of the toes here. Notice how that movement feels. And then allow yourself to take a stretch of any kind here. So I'm going to take my arms up overhead. It might be that a yawn kind of creeps into your practice, a few circles through your wrists. Some of you might want to take the legs out in front, or maybe it's just the arms that are reaching. And then if you haven't taken the arms up overhead, bringing the hands up towards the sky. We're going to find our left hand here and then bring the left hand down towards the right knee or the opposite knee. See if you can play with bringing the hand that's behind you fairly close to the back of your pelvis to help lengthen through the spine. To begin with, looking over your right shoulder. And then the invitation is to keep most of the body just in the position that it is already. And simply bringing the head to face back forward so the chin comes round towards the front of the room. And you could stay here looking forwards or see how it feels to almost counter the twist by looking to the opposite shoulder. Great. Breath in and out here. Nice slow unravel of the torso back to center, reaching the hands towards the sky. And then taking that same twist around to the other side. Right hand towards left knee this time, the left hand just behind. Notice if you're really kind of tugging and pulling yourself into the shape, and allow yourself to soften slightly here. So maybe there's like less effort. And again, you can stay looking over your left shoulder or slowly bring the chin back to look towards the front of your mat or forwards. And then over the opposite shoulder, so over the right shoulder. Breathing in and out here. Let's gently unravel back to center again here. Taking a few of those familiar rolls of the shoulders, those circles around. Maybe encouraging the shoulders to draw back slightly at the end of the day. We'll take a bit of a side stretch here as well. So the right hand comes down towards your mat. Let your left hand reach up and over towards the sky. And again, see if you can bring in softness here. So rather than like, I'm going to reach my hand the furthest, bringing in that sense of softness. Maybe the palm of the top hand faces to the ground. And then nice slow cartwheel of the arms around until the left hand lands and the right hand reaches up and over. Breath in and out here as well. We come back through to center, taking just one more time that wonderful roll of the shoulders, those circles out here. Great. And then again, with that edge of softness, I'm going to invite you to fold forwards here. So you can leave your hands on your knees if you like to, and just lean the torso a little forwards, or bring your hands to the ground in front of you. Maybe the palms land, let the spine round, and find this sense of like sinking towards the ground. So rather than, again, the ego taking over and pulling us into postures, can it almost be as if gravity is just taking you closer to your mat? You can let the chin tuck here if you'd like to, or the head be heavy. Couple more rounds of breath here. And then again, using the hands to bring yourself back up. We'll take a moment around on our hands and on our knees here. So let your legs swivel around to one side. Does not really matter which side. I'm just going to place my cushion out to the front of the mat. Let your hands come underneath the shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide here, and then taking some circles. So circles, I mean leaning over to the left, drawing the pelvis to the heels, circling to the right, forward, and then around. I'm repeating those circles 3 or 4 times in this direction. They can be much more meandering in their sense if you like, more figure of 8, or just to kind of wriggle around here. And then can you reverse the circles if it is circles you're taking? Same thing to the opposite direction. Let the head move quite freely here. 2 more circles in this direction. Great. And then can you bring yourself back through to center? On an inhale, dropping the belly down to look forwards, finding our cow pose together. On an exhale, rounding through the back body, chin and the tailbone tuck. Inhaling to find your cow pose, belly drops down to look forwards. Exhaling, rounding to your back body to find your cat. Repeating that 5 more times here. See if you can find the movement all the way along the length of the spine, from the tailbone all the way up through the back of the neck. 1 more round. And then coming back to center, we're going to sink to child's pose for a moment. If you want to grab your cushion, you're really welcome to. See if you can bring the pelvis back to the heels. Let the knees go a little wider. If you're using your cushion, you might grab a hold of it. And you can rest yourself down onto it here. I'm going to rest on my forearms today so that my head is a little more lifted, just so you can hear me on the microphone. You can, of course, bring the head down towards the ground, maybe even resting it on your cushion out in front here. We're going to pause here for about 7 slow breaths, and I'll not count the breaths as such here, because I'm going to bring us back to that aphorism or set of words from the beginning of practice. And just as before, I'll repeat them 3 times. I invite a slowness and a rest. I invite in slowness and rest. I invite in slowness and rest. Giving yourself space to pause here for a few more rounds of breath. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down onto the back of the body. So again, if your head does want a cushion to support it whilst it's on your mat, you could take the cushion out in front of you. We're going to lift the torso and just simply bring the legs over to one side, swiveling all the way around. Use your arms to help bring yourself down here. So coming down onto your back, let your head land here. So whether you've got a pillow underneath the back of your head like I have, or maybe your head is flat on the ground, let the feet be about the distance of your pelvis wide, knees to the sky. Hands could land somewhere on the torso, and then finding this really gentle swaying of your knees left and right. Almost as if they're kind of swaying with the rhythm of your breath. And if you enjoy that aspect of syncing the breath and the movement together, maybe as you inhale, they go one direction. As you exhale, they go the other direction. It might be that they're just not quite synced with the breath today, and that is not wrong. It's just how you're choosing to move on your mat. I'm going to take quite a few more of these here, so just allow that pattern to repeat. A simple left and right movement. And then after the next one on each side, see if you can come to stillness in the center here. And just allow yourself to pause. Maybe your hands both rest. You could knock your knees towards each other so they're kind of almost touching. Maybe they are touching. I'm taking a few breaths here. Now, some of you might want to stay where you are. Otherwise, we're going to explore happy baby here. So we're bringing the knees towards us, the knees nice and wide, and you can take hold of the back of your thighs and send your feet to the sky, or you can hold on to your feet. I like to bring my elbows inside of knees and hands outside of the feet, so the forearms cross over the shins. But there's that sense of kind of imagining that you're pushing the soles of the feet to the sky, and the knees are pulling back to the earth. And you could stay still here or explore a gentle rock around in your happy baby as well. This movement left and right. Simple rock and roll. And then you can continue with this movement with your happy baby. Take a bit of a wriggle around here, or release your feet, send them up to the sky. Does not matter if your legs are not straight, you can absolutely have a bend in the knee here. And again, hands can land wherever feels comfortable. If you've got loads of space, maybe you take them out into a T shape here. Just letting the feet almost like reach towards the ceiling here. Taking a few rounds of breath here. And then hugging the knees into your chest. Again, you can hold the back of your thighs or the front of your knees, squeezing in. Stillness, or again, this rock left and right across the back of the pelvis, around the lower back. From here, allow your feet to land back down on the ground. We're going to take a moment to come towards our Shavasana. If for you having your feet down and the knees lifted is more comfortable, this might be your Shavasana shape today. Or you can send the legs out long and pause here. I am myself going to find the knees to the sky. So if you can come towards a place of relative stillness again. If you would like to close your eyes, you could close your eyes here. And allowing your attention to travel back towards your breath. So if you can find a slightly deeper breath in and a really soft sigh through the mouth. Repeating that here with a breath in and a soft sigh through the mouth. Breathing in and a soft sigh through the mouth. Letting the breath pattern continue. And giving yourself just a moment of time here with nothing particular that you have to do. See if you can allow yourself to let go of any to-do lists. And simply pausing in a stillness. Now you are really welcome just to continue staying in the position that you're in for as long as you need here. Or if it is getting towards your bedtime, maybe you kind of bring your practice over to your bed and slide on in. I'm going to close the practice here just to sign off and say goodbye for the evening. We'll do that again with a few rounds of breath, maybe slightly deeper ones together, inhaling through the nose. And an exhale or a sigh out. Breathing in through the nose. Exhaling out. Breathing in through the nose. And that sigh out. We'll close our practice there for today. I hope that you have a restful evening and a restful sleep ahead. And I will see you soon.